We are back in. It's a Taco Tuesday edition of Danny and Cello. I am Danny Williams, Marcello Romano right here, DC, producing the product. We have a good one for you guys. It's game week here, okay? So it's going down. The Broncos are geared up. It's been probably the most exciting offseason, Cello, we've had it in a decade, right? I mean, speak on it.
Yeah, I mean, for
Real
I
expectations.
Think, yes, I think all the other times we were tricking ourselves into expectation or even to be somewhat excited about the Broncos season. Probably the closest one was the first season with Russ when we didn't know what we were going to have.
Yeah.
And then that blew up in our face.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a topic here today that kind of showed its face as the NFL Top 100 has continued to be revealed, okay? Well, at 10 was Patrick Surtain, up from, I think, 52 last year. The NFL's Defensive Player of the Year. Pretty big honor. You think of all the quarterbacks, think of the 3 or 4 really special running backs, think of wide receivers, think of all the defensive players. For Patrick Surtain to be number 10, it's pretty special, right, Cello, to have a player like that right at that spot?
It's huge. I mean, and I think the question that you're going to get to eventually on the show today is a good one. When I first heard it, I'm like, get out of here, Danny. You're crazy.
Mm-hmm. Like a fox.
Yeah. But then when you actually break it down.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good question.
Okay, well, let's ask the question. The question.
Tell me.
The question is, Patrick Surtain is 25 years old. Okay, the guy is 25 years old. He's already has multiple All-Pros, not just Pro Bowls, multiple-time All-Pro, NFL's Defensive Player of the Year, and a former SEC Player of the Year. Like, we're stacking accomplishments. The guy's 25 years old, okay? So, got me to thinking, could we agree that Von Miller right now, as it stands today, is the greatest Denver Broncos defensive player of all time? Do you want to push back against that at all? And we can throughout the show, but just if we ask 10 guys.
As it sits right now, I mean, basically delivered a Super Bowl. And he led the charge for that.
He's a defensive player who won Super Bowl MVP in epic fashion, glorious fashion. Okay.
But, I mean, it's an interesting question because then you start thinking about other greats that have played for the Denver Broncos. There's Champ Bailey. There's
there's the Tom
Steve
Jacksons
Atwater.
and the Carl Mecklenburgs and the Randys who finally just got himself into the Hall of Fame. Gradishar. There's the Broncos have a laundry list of really
Dennis Smith
and even the Neil Smiths, the guys who came in the Twilights, the DeMarcus Wares, really an iconic list of defensive players in the history of the Orange Crush, right?
Yeah.
So the question is, can Patrick Surtain, and what will it take for this guy to become the greatest Denver Broncos defensive player ever? Okay, so if Von Miller is up here, and maybe we can put the list together. We have plenty of time to do so. I mean, it's the fun and the beauty of the show is, it's easy to say stuff, but sometimes you have to do the exercise, and we'll kind of really break it down. And I got a list of some guys that, we'll have our top 5 or top 6 guys. But as it stands today, is Patrick Surtain the best defensive player in all of the NFL? Because, Cello, there's a player ahead of him on this list. Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
Well, guess.
Is it Micah Parsons?
Blow him up. It is Myles Garrett.
Oh, your guy.
Well, not my guy on the radio yesterday when we're filling in for Stink and Stoke and Mike Evans. I said that I thought Myles Garrett, my first instinct was Myles Garrett is the best defensive player in the NFL. And then you go Micah Parsons, and then you go either Patrick Surtain or TJ Watt. However you start to value guys and value that position. So that's what I thought. And then you kind of talked me into Micah Parsons a little bit.
Yeah.
You talked
that would be my opinion of who
is the best defensive player in the NFL.
Yeah, and this is no slight against Pat Surtain. I'm just saying overall, and to be honest with you, if Aaron Donald was still playing,
he might still be right now
probably
today.
Be the best defensive player in the NFL.
Okay, so Patrick Surtain, for him to become the greatest Bronco in the history
pump the brakes real quick. You said multiple All-Pros already.
Yes.
This is his what? What year is it for Pat Surtain?
He's 25 years old. He's in his fifth year. This will be his 5th year.
And he's already got 2 of those.
He was young when he came out.
So when you initially asked the question, I'm like, well, dang, there's no way he could be even close to what Von Miller, or even Champ Bailey during his tenure as a Denver Bronco, what they had. But they both have 3 first-team All-Pros, 4 second-team All-Pros. The big difference, you ask what's the question, is what's going to take him to be the best in Broncos history?
Yeah.
Super Bowls, man.
Okay. How many? Win one as the leader, and maybe we're talking about it. Because
it's kind of hard for him to do that, though, as a cornerback, though.
Well, where he doesn't and may not have the Super Bowl MVP, the defensive player of the year he has on that mantle.
Vaughn doesn't have. Vaughn has defensive rookie of the year.
Vaughn doesn't have that. Eluded Vaughn all of those years, and it was probably
Champ
one
Bailey
that
never got that honor.
It was probably one that Vaughn should have got. And Champ went through an era where there was other good corners, and it's like the value of the position at the time. Who's winning that award? You know, it's like pass rushers, it's linebackers, it's corners at the end, unless you're prime time, right? Do you believe? Right?
You don't believe.
Okay, so I think it's an interesting question. I think what would have to happen for Patrick Surtain to become the greatest Denver Broncos defensive player of all time? Pretty simple. Is win a Super Bowl. Win a Super Bowl. You have that on the mantle. You continue to be this player for another 5 years. Well, man, you got a decade of excellence.
How much more difficult, though, is it to do it at that position?
What do you mean by that? The physicality, the longevity? What do you mean by that?
What Von Miller did to wreck offenses, it was people were trying to scheme against it, and they couldn't. There's just some things you can't get away from. Now, when you're playing corner, they can just be like, I ain't throwing over there.
Yeah.
You've eliminated a third of the field, essentially.
Well, see, that goes to how you or me or Chavi, it's a free world of ours, right? In America, we can you can decide how you want to value any position the way you want to value it the most. And it sounds like you value what Vaughn and Micah Parsons do a little bit more than the work of a corner. Would you say that's true?
You might be right. Because, like,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
Man, like, there was a point in last year where Nick Bonito was being talked about more, at least locally here, as a defensive player of the year candidate, more so than even Pat Surtain, just because of what he was doing on the field. I mean, those things, I think, when you just eliminate a player.
Well, you're so used to the greatness of Surtain, too, you put it on like the back
burner. You forget about it.
Yeah, because you know it's just there. Like,
unless you're
you
crazy.
take it for granted, I think is the phrase. Like, we take Jokic for granted every single night.
And a lot of people they decide not to challenge him.
Yeah.
So, like, he doesn't get that many opportunities. So, like, in a year like last year when he wins Defensive Player of the Year, give me 3 of his highlights.
Surtain's highlights. Shoot, how many even picks did he have last season? He only had a few picks.
So
he had one he took for a touchdown last year.
That was against the Raiders, I think,
he took one for the touchdown against the Raiders. It was a game turner. They were down. They're about to be blown out in that game. Here, I'm sitting and watching, thinking, I kept my receipt. I need a few bucks back on this game. You know what I mean? Like, this was that, and he turned the tide there.
Thank you, Gardner Minshew.
Maybe turned the season around for those guys.
I could get on board with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I think really go back and think about it.
They would have gone up, 17-7 at that point, I think?
Oh, yeah.
And so a complete flip. I mean, you're talking about 14-point swing.
Play action. Minshew looking. Throws intercepted by Surtain. Pat Surtain on the run. Nobody's going to catch him. Surtain going all the way for a Denver touchdown.
You know
Instantly.
What? As we're talking more big picture, too, that we could save it for maybe another show. That moment right there might be the turning point in the entire franchise. The start of the Bo Nix era, the start of what this defense kind of is, potentially can be, the start of like this real true start of the Sean Payton era. No more Russ. It's my guys now. And that's a big moment. Potentially, that's a big moment in Broncos history.
Say that again.
That turning of the tide there, that going from down 17 points to the Raiders, and maybe your season coming apart. You come back, win that game. Surtain wins you that game. There it turns the tide, like you said. And that might be like part of the turnaround of the entire kind of new era of who and what the Broncos are. Big picture.
Is that also the game that Bo Nix and Sean Payton got into it?
Bo Nix, heated. Words of advice from Drew Brees. Sean Payton is going to be very demanding with you. You have to beat the man.
Put up a clip for us.
Okay, so.
But other than that play, think about it. He gets so much I guess, respect by them not going
I feel like
at the
you're
guy.
disrespecting him the way you're saying this.
No, not
at all?
No.
Okay.
I'm not just like, listen, it's different how it's portrayed because there's certain things you can do to eliminate his strengths. You just don't throw at him.
Yeah, well, they say that, Champ used to shut down, 40% of the field? Some people say
third of the field.
A half of the field.
What
a third of the field.
What was Revis Island for a couple of years?
Yeah, it was
that
it. It
type
was
of
thing.
deal.
Well, do you know what? I'll tell you this too, Cello. I think, too, this is something to think about. Sometimes corners, the hot corner of the league, the Asamoahs and the Cortland Finnegans, you're a hot corner for 2 or 3 or 4 years. That doesn't always carry on and have longevity. There's only 10 or 12 or 15 all-time great corners, okay, that we look at.
How many have won Defensive Player of the Year,
I
though?
think only a couple few. I'm thinking of Deion Sanders. I know he did with the 49ers 1 year.
The 1 year he was there?
Yeah, that was just the 1 year he was there, the Niners.
Yeah, man. Won a Super Bowl and then went on to play for the Cowboys. So it's like, I think it'd be cool. Maybe, Chubby, you could either look it up, but when was the last corner to win Defensive Player of the Year? How long has it been?
Well, let me give you some guys here who I kind of put a list together, like some of the greatest corners of all time. Prime, right?
Oh, yeah.
Rod Woodson, to me, I feel more like a corner. I mean, a safety than maybe just the era I kind of came up in than a corner, but 17 seasons he did a lot of both.
More safety to me, too. Though.
Yes, yeah. Champ, Charles Woodson. Did he
Great.
win?
Defensive Player of the Year? Maybe 1 year in
I think he won the
Green
Heisman.
Bay?
I think we're thinking, Chavi's going to check while we're continuing to go down this list. Darryl Green is an all-time great because of that longevity and the athlete that he was. He was an all-time athlete, they say. Revis Island. Do you know what? Then that's like there's other guys. We're going to get to it. But that's the cream of the crop of the list of the greatest cornerbacks of all time. Then you got Mike Haynes, Hall of Famer, Mel Blount. These guys are from like a different era, though. Still Curtin. Willie Brown was a Bronco for 10 minutes, right? Yeah. Ty Law. Dick Knight, Train Lane, okay? And then after that, those are the Hall of Fame guys. Revis Island's not a Hall of Famer yet, and then there's more guys down the list. So really, honestly, I just gave you, there's no more than 12 like all-time great corners, and then there's a tier of Deion, Champ, Charles Woodson, Rod Woodson, Darryl Green, maybe Dick Knight, Train Lane, maybe one of the older guys that are like the Mount Rushmore 5 or 6 guys. Then there's 6 more Hall of Fame guys. So what I'm saying is, what do these guys all have in common? Kind of the longevity as well as the production, as well as a lot of these guys, most of these guys won championships except for Champ. I don't know if Willie Brown did. I'm sure he did on one of those Raiders teams. Revis Island did not. Ty Law won a bunch. That's why he's in, actually.
Yeah.
And Dick Knight, Train Lane was he a Ram? I'm not even sure what teams he was on back in those days. So, in conclusion, I guess a little bit after going through the list of the all-time kind of great corners, Cello, Patrick Surtain is knocking on the door of already entering this stratosphere where we're going to consider him close to Revis Island type of territory. Revis Island that island didn't exist for 12 years. The island existed for like 6 or 7 years, and it got washed away by a tsunami.
Well,
Remember when
Chavi
you
just put it up here so we can look at it.
Okay.
The last or most recent DB to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
Stephon Gilmore in 2019.
Yes.
Charles Woodson did get one in 2009. I think that was with Green Bay.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen all that often.
No, primetime, Rob Woodson, Mel Blount, and Lester Hayes are the other guys who are DPOYs at that position. So it's pretty rare. Surtain is in rare air. He has entered rare air already, okay? So looking at that list of the 7 corners, the 7 corners who have won DPOY, I think Surtain is cut from the cloth of all of those guys. I think, the Alabama stuff, the pedigree's old man was a really great player as well, I think Patrick Surtain is knocking on the door of kind of pushing Champ Bailey out of the way.
I was trying to think, because a lot of those guys, I know Woodson played both offense and defense in college at the University of Michigan.
Yeah, Heisman.
Did he return punts and kicks in the NFL?
I don't remember him doing that.
We know Prime was great at it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Stephon Gilmore did, but Is that one of those things, like, you remember we would always try and find a ways to get the ball into their hands? I mean, Champ Bailey played offense for just not a ton of plays.
Did Fangio have Surtain back there taking punts or for a minute or two? Maybe that had been a training camp experiment. I might have dreamed that. No.
You're done with that. You don't want to do that kind of stuff.
Well, like Champ wanted to play offense. You just said that, right? Champ wanted the ball in his hands a little bit. And Shanahan was like, fine, here. Okay,
it was a short-lived experiment. They didn't do it all that long.
No, and Deion had a couple games. One game I remember where he caught 2 bombs as a Cowboy.
He caught one in the Super Bowl,
and could have done both. Certainly could have done both, right?
Easily. Like that Super Bowl highlight, I remember. You remember they played in Tempe, I think. The sun was in his eyes. He runs like a go route right down the center of the field. Aikman hits him. I think I don't know. He's that good. Pat Surtain is that good, though, that I would be interested in trying to find ways to get, and then I would know your comeback would be, well, I'm not going to put him in that position to get hurt.
Let's set this up right and ask this question right now. If the NFL had a version of Ohtani, if the NFL had that version of a two-way player, two-way threat, Patrick Surtain would be at the tippy top of that list of a guy who would be. They do
have one.
Well, Trav, I'm saying other than Trav, like new age. Let's think guys who don't do it. Could Josh Allen play linebacker and play quarterback? No. He could do it?
No.
Give me some guys besides Surtain that makes him pretty special in this argument right here in terms of athletes in the league.
It would have to be like a specialty position, right?
Okay, well, tell me.
So returning kicks, you would play corner or receiver.
Yeah. So would it be mostly corners and receivers converting to both? Can you think of any other positions where that would kind of work? Can a linebacker do anything else besides linebacking?
Probably not.
Okay. So
there's receivers that can certainly throw the ball. I mean, think about Cordell Stewart.
You don't think
he could have gone out and played corner or safety?
Say we're putting the aliens are here to fight us. We're putting that intergalactic squad together. We only have so many players. I think Jalen Hurts could probably play a little bit of both ways if we needed him to.
Oh, if you absolutely had to? Oh, yeah. Then Josh Allen could, too. I just don't know if linebacker is one that safety.
Ooh.
I think Josh Allen could be a safety.
Okay. Urlacher played safety. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
In Mexico?
He was like a running back there, too, right?
You might have made that up. I don't know.
No, I made that up, but it's I made that up, but it's 100% true.
Double fours. Yes, Brian Urlacher was and made his hay on defense. As a senior, the 1999 Mountain West Conference Player of the Year, led the league in tackles at 154, forced fumbles at 5, and recoveries at 3, 442 career tackles, ranked 4th all-time in Lobo history. He received first-team All-American honors in 1999, was a finalist for the Jim Thorpe Award.
Urlacher played wide receiver in high school, and he brought that natural talent to the Lobos, had 6 career touchdowns in his senior season. That's 3rd in the conference. Urlacher practically never left the field. He was obviously out there on defense, there on offense, special teams as well.
Listen, 3 categories. Urlacher returned kicks for the Lobos. What? 6 kickoffs in his career.
Okay, so let me ask you this one here. Set this one up here.
He didn't play running back. I think he returned punts at New Mexico.
So for Patrick Surtain here, in a nutshell, becomes the greatest Denver Broncos defensive player of all time. Tell me what the rest of the next 7 or 8 years of his career looks like for him to kind of achieve that status. Because we know what he's done in 5 years.
Can I ask you a question first?
Sure.
Who are the top 5 defensive players in Denver Broncos history right now?
Okay, Vaughn, Champ, Randy Gradishar.
Okay. Steve Atwater. We haven't even mentioned Louis Wright. Simon Fletcher was good during
We're going
his
down
tenure.
the road that we got got 4 Hall of Famer guys right there. So do we keep it there or do we expand it and start adding those guys and the Carl Mecklenburgs?
Where do you put DeMarcus Ware in the conversation?
No, we can't.
Why? Because of the longevity wasn't enough here?
Because then you're so disrespectful to Simon Fletcher.
Yeah, but he also won a Super Bowl here.
Well, it
was a large part of it.
It's disrespectful to Simon Fletcher at that point and Chris Harris Jr. at that point and Dennis Smith at that point and almost like even I don't want to start mentioning.
So here's yours: Von Miller.
Yeah.
Gradishar.
Yep. Steve Atwater.
You said Mecklenburg?
I'm keeping them off the list. I'm sticking to Hall of Famers.
Put that one back.
And Randy.
Okay.
4 guys. I think
is Pat Surtain already 5th?
Has he passed all of those other guys? So
I mean, we haven't said Al Wilson. We haven't said John Mobley.
Again, this is going to be blasphemy to some old school Broncos guys. Bronco Billy's going to, will roll over in his grave when he's not dead. He's not dead yet. Sorry.
How much do you value the Super Bowl?
A lot.
The Super Bowls that those teams won
Tons.
Defensively.
Tons.
Neil Smith, Alfred
That's
Williams.
why Chris Harris,
Keith Tractor Trailer.
Yes, but those are role
Glenn
players.
Kadrez.
Role players. Stars on some Sundays, but role players. I think it has to stick to again.
Who was the best corner during those Super Bowl runs?
Super
Bowl
which era?
50 was Keep Talib, right?
Well, Keeb and Chris Harris.
Who do you think was the better of the two?
Keeb Talib is going to the Hall of Fame one day, I think.
And then the back-to-back championships, 97, 98. Darian Gordon or Ray Crockett?
I think Darian Gordon. Ray Crockett was a bulldog. You know what I mean?
But Darian was he's vicious with the punt returns too, man.
Yeah. Okay. So I like the way you did that there. I like the way you said, how does, are there all the Hall of Fame Broncos former defensive players right now are still in a class and a tier above what Surtain has done. But I think he has entered that stratosphere truly, Cello, of all of these other guys. The short-term guys like the DeMarcus Wares and the Brian Dawkins and the Romanowskis, and to the next tier, the Alfred Williams guys, Tyrone Braxton, and then the tier above, banging up against, is Dennis Smith, Mecklenburg,
John Lynch.
Tear down, Lynch.
He's a Ring of Fame.
I know that's inappropriate, but
but you're right, and to use Danny's word, trajectory.
Yeah,
I don't think that it's been matched. His start is like just taken off, and this is talking about a team that in what you said fifth year,
fifth year, right?
So he's known nothing but not good until last year.
Yeah, fifth year, because him and Micah Parsons in that same class.
And I think the other year he was first team All-Pro was 2022.
3 Pro Bowls, 2 first team All-Pros. Not in 13, in 12 and 12. Not in 23, but in 22 and 24.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened in 23. But again, we'd be talking about really something special. And there's no sign of. Obviously, the guy's 25 years old. I think the best is yet to come for this guy. So, lofty, tall task. Some people would say the whole discussion here is a bit premature and a little bit disrespectful to some of these guys. I say not. I say that's how special Patrick Surtain is. I think that's how unique of a character this guy is, and he's already played himself into all-time Bronco category.
Well, you won't put him on it, though.
No, all-time Bronco.
I know. We did that.
Yeah. Bigger picture. Right?
We did it, right? We said.
Yeah,
and we're just talking about Broncos. We're talking about
without
best
getting
Broncos
specific.
defensive players.
Without getting specific, he's already an all-time Bronco. Getting specific.
Then how come he can't be number 5 on your list?
Too strong, too soon.
So he's a 10?
Yes.
Higher?
No, he's right flirting with around 10 right now.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay, cool. Let me ask you this, and I want to keep moving here, and then we'll wrap this bad boy up. Tough one. Sometimes got to ask tough questions, and we got to give tough answers. Patrick Surtain or Micah Parsons? Pick one.
If I had my choice,
whatever you want it to be, Cowboy.
Whew, man, this is a tough question. You did this on purpose because you know what you think you know what I think I'm going to do. You what? Did you make me meet my own?
Allow myself to introduce myself.
Initially, it's going to be Micah Parsons for me.
Why?
But we already have this guy. He's already our own. This is the hypothetical that you're throwing out at me.
Yeah.
And if I was a GM or had to make the decision, man, I would go back to how I would draft it, it would be the pass rusher.
So your philosophy would tell you, I'm taking Micah Parsons.
I'm
everything
being
that we
honest,
kind of
though.
know the body of work. I could appreciate, but we're going to get comments on this. If
I
we
know,
use this,
I know.
we're going to get comments. That's the beauty of it,
So
though.
you're going to go the other way?
I'm
going to
go the other way. And do you know what?
Do you really mean it, though?
For one of the reasons you said before you backed off of it, he's ours now. and I wouldn't trade him for the world. You know what I mean? And I'm being serious about it. I know the value what Von Miller can do. We've saw it, okay? And
You're going to talk yourself into it then.
I'm not, but I do because he's our own Surtain. I wouldn't trade him for Micah Parsons, but I'm with you. Micah Parsons, Surtain, interchangeable top 3 or 4 defensive players in the league.
Would you give him up for 2 first-round picks and a Pro Bowl player? Pat Surtain.
No. No. I'd have to be down as a franchise. And I'd need 3 1s, 2 2s, and a player, a young player.
So then the deal
the world.
The deal the Cowboys got for Micah Parsons.
They got fleeced. Okay. Terrible deal. I mean, they got hosed, bro. That's a disgrace. That you could show it was how personal it was for the Cowboys. And how almost panicky it was as the season is approaching, trading him to a team that's going to stand in your way.
It feels like you're trying to make me discredit what he is as a player.
No, not at all. I like that you're standing your ground on this guy. I think
if
Micah
you have to
Parsons
look at
is
it,
special.
look at some of the greats that you mentioned that were great cornerbacks of all time. How many of them have championships? Does Revis?
No.
Revis? I don't.
Oh, Revis was on one of those Patriots teams.
Oh, that one didn't really count.
No, it kind of does.
When Revis was Revis Island.
Well, he did. He capped the career
Champ Bailey's
with one of those.
tenure here, how long was it?
I'd take Champ over Revis, but his tenureship here, 8 or 9 years.
They got to a Super Bowl. He was hurt.
Yeah, he got that Liz Frank in the third quarter of a preseason game.
So, I guess I would go back and be like, from my stance, Mike Shanahan made that move to trade Clinton Portis away for Champ Bailey.
Yeah.
In part because they could not slow down Peyton Manning and the Colts. That was part of he had to combat that some way or another. He thought maybe if I can eliminate even a third of the field, I can give my defensive coordinator a better opportunity to go out and shut those guys down. But we saw it here play out firsthand. You had 55 touchdowns and 5,000 yards, right?
Yep.
Couldn't get it done. Flip the script, go defense. You add in a guy like DeMarcus Ware, and then Vaughn is just dominant. That defense in general was super dominant, but he led the charge, and you got a championship out of it.
You're ratcheting up my perception of how important these guys are and how crazy it is that they would trade a player like Micah Parsons. In conclusion, we'll wrap it like this. I'm not sure why. I don't want to – I'm opening up another argument here. If – both guys' careers ended today, Micah Parsons and Patrick Surtain's. Micah Parsons is closer to the Hall of Fame today than Patrick Surtain. Woo-wee! No hate. It's just the body of work. Why we said he's got that DPOY, just got our guy, and those all pros. Micah Parsons is a 3-time, at least, Defensive Player of the Year finalist. So that's perennial best defensive player in the league at – and I just think if you ask most guys, not Broncos guys, one or the other, I think you'd get a lean 60-40 lean on Micah over Surtain. And it goes to a lot of what you said, Cello, just about how you value the importance of that position.
Exactly.
And we know here what Von Miller did firsthand, right?
We saw it with our own eyes.
Dry land is not a myth.
We've seen it.
Okay, so that's the show. We appreciate you guys being with us. If you ride with us for just a little bit of the show, try not to drag the thing on too long, but 10, 15, 20 minutes is kind of never enough to get really into everything that we want to get into. So we appreciate you guys. Subscribe and like all those things there, do all that kind of stuff, and comment if you want. We'll be back in a couple days. We'll do another one. We'll run it back.
At least you took your sunglasses off.
That was a mistake. Their prescription, I couldn't see that day. That guy said in the comments, you're either a druggie or an a-hole, right?
Yes.
That was pretty funny.
Awesome.
Well, do you know what? I'm both, guy. Okay? So thanks for watching and listening. But for Chavi, we appreciate you big time. For Marcello Romano, I'm Danny Williams. We appreciate you guys, and we love you guys. Good night, Sheila.
Whatever, Alan. Go inside.